Welcome to Building Oregon at Home with me, Uga. Today we'll be building mini organs at home just using what materials we can find around us. The only material that we need to start out with is a flat piece of cardboard. We'll be labeling some of the major points of Oregon and also using our creativity to build upon and make Oregon look like Oregon. Let's begin. So to start our project, we have a flat piece of cardboard. We're going to start by drawing the outline of Oregon. Oregon's kind of like a rectangle, but was hit by a ball millions of years ago and developed a small bump in the top left corner. Haha, that was a joke. Now, first off, you want to know where you're drawing Oregon. So I'm definitely going to draw the ocean side on the left side, the landmass side on the right, and this will be the bottom and the top. I started with the bottom, and basically bottom is a straight line. Next, I'll move to the coastline, and the coastline's a little different. It has a little bit jagged because no coastline is perfectly straight. That would be too boring. And it's going to go all the way up to the top. Now the top, like I said, is like the little bump we have. So the bump goes over a little bit, and then like a waterfall, it drops down. Now as we continue going to the right, it's a little jaggedy, so just do a little jaggedy, it's like you're doing some artwork. And then it comes up here and it kind of straightens out for a little bit. Now for the right side, it has a very over curve, and then it kind of dips back in with a nice little bump again, and then all the way down. Now I just freehand that Oregon. Now my final product looks like this. I took a permanent marker and retraced what I did. Before we start our second part of the project, I wrote down a list of things that we will be labeling on Oregon. First, a compass. Second, the rivers. 3, mountain ranges. 4, cities. 5, major landmarks. And 6, most importantly, we're going to put some creativity in this and make it look like an awesome Oregon. The first thing we'll be labeling is a compass. A compass is very important for maps because it helps you know which direction's which. So Oregon's pretty simple in terms of north, east, south, west, never eat soggy worms. Now your compass could be very creative. It could be just simple like this, and it's just like west. You can make this decorative. You can look online for different ways to draw in compasses, but I drew mine on my map like an old style one, up in the top right. So for the next part, we're going to be labeling some of the major rivers of Oregon. The Columbia River, the Snake River, and the Willamette River. Some of these rivers will be easier to draw because they actually run along some of the borders of Oregon. Let's start with the Columbia River. The Columbia River starts up here with the Pacific Ocean, and then leads into Oregon between Washington and Oregon. The Columbia River starts right here and runs around the whole border of the top of the north of Oregon. Eventually, it tails off back into Washington. The Snake River runs along on the eastern side of Oregon. It actually starts a little bit into Washington, leads down, runs along the landmass of Oregon, and then after that little loop, it goes off into Idaho. Now the Willamette River is a little different. Now right where the waterfall, the bottom of the waterfall border of Oregon, the Willamette River starts right here. It kind of curves, goes down almost the whole way of Oregon, probably about 3/4 of the way of Oregon. Now I have a trusty blue marker here, and I'm going to be starting labeling my rivers with the color blue. But after you drew in your rivers, please label them. Remember, Columbia River, Snake River, and the Willamette River. Now, I used a blue marker, but use your creativity. If you think of something else that's cool or looks better, please do it at home. There are 2 major mountain ranges in Oregon that we'll be labeling today, the Coastal Mountains and the Cascade Mountains. The Coastal Mountains run along the western border of Oregon. The Cascade Mountains run kind of in the middle. The biggest difference between the coastal mountains and the Cascade Mountains is that the coastal mountains are smaller than the Cascades. I use small humps to show the coastal mountains and big cat ears
Meow, meow, meow.
to show Cascades are bigger than the coastal mountains. Now I'm going to add a little bit to my map. Feel free to add to yours. Whew, that was a lot of creativity coming at me. Now I got a little carried away and I hope you guys do too. So I did a little sand for the coastline, but also these are the coastal mountains, and then the Cascades are in the middle of Oregon. I put a little green grass and little shavings of pine cones around because the western side of Oregon is a lot greener than the eastern side. The eastern side is kind of like desert, so I put a little sand there. I also relabeled all the rivers but used some blue paper to show you where they are because I just wanted to make sure everyone knew where everything was in Oregon that we labeled. Next, we're going to be doing cities. There are 4 major cities that we'll be labeling on our map today: Portland, Bend, Eugene, and Salem. So Portland is up right where the Willamette and Columbia River meet, and it's right at that bottom of that waterfly. So I drew a little Portland, I drew a little city, and a little bridge right there to show where Portland was. Salem is the capital of Oregon, and it's very important to know that stars on maps mean capitals. Salem is kind of like midway down the Willamette River on the right side. Next is Eugene. Eugene's on pretty much the bottom side of the Willamette River and on the western side of it. And lastly, we have Bend. Bend is out in the desert. Nah, it's in the eastern side, a little bit over here. So we have Portland, Salem, Eugene, and Bend. The last things we'll be labeling on our map is Crater Lake and Mount Hood. Now for Crater Lake, I used a bottle cap, put some paper in there. Crater Lake is in the Cascade Mountain region, and I put it there, label it. And Mount Hood, I like exaggeration. I'm using this big rock for Mount
What a mountain!
Hood, which would go right here. So let's review our map real quick. I know it looks a little mess, but to me, it's art. So we have the shape of Oregon, which is a rectangle with a bump in the corner. Remember, never eat soggy worms. We have the Columbia River, which runs along the north border, the Snake River, the eastern border, and the Willamette down the middle of Oregon. We have 2 mountain ranges. We have the coastal mountain ranges, which are smaller than the Cascade mountain range. The coastal run along the coast, and the Cascades run kind of in the middle of Oregon. 4 cities we labeled is Portland, the capital of Salem, Eugene, and Bend over here. We also have Crater Lake and the big exaggerated Mount Hood. Rock on! Hope you enjoyed our project today. This is a nicely done map of Oregon if you need a reference or guide, but please use your creativity like me. Remember, art is a self-expression, and so get out there and get creative. I hope this was fun. Have a good day.